Hi everyone, and welcome to another topic lesson. Now, this week we are going to be looking and learning about a famous artist called Georgia O'Keeffe. Here are three of her paintings. What do you notice about them? Is there anything that's similar? Is there anything that's different? Pause the video and have a think, then press play when you're ready to continue. Now, to find out a bit more about Georgia O'Keeffe, let's work through a PowerPoint together. Now, I suggest that you pause the video just here and grab a pencil and some paper because you might want to make some notes. Press play when you're ready to go through the PowerPoint. Georgia O'Keeffe. So in her early life, Georgia Toto O'Keeffe was born on the 15th of November 1887 in Wisconsin, USA. She was one of 7 children, and her mother encouraged Georgia's interest in art. The landscape in Wisconsin was very important to Georgia, which became evident in her later work. She studied at the Art Institute of Chicago and had her first gallery show in 1916. Flowers. Georgia began experimenting with painting close-up views of flowers. She used oil paints in vibrant, bold colours. So that's just one example. Yellow Calla. And that's another example of a close-up of a flower using the bright, bold colours again. Oriental Poppies. Painting the flowers at such a close range makes the viewer see the object in a completely different way. So by painting really close up to something, it makes it look a lot different than it usually would. So this is an Oriental Poppy at a really close range. Inside the Red Canna. The bright colours used and the simple images of leaves and petals results in dramatic and inventive paintings, exploring the idea of abstract art. So abstract art is a type of art that is very alternative, very different to the normal kind of art that you're used to seeing, okay? So look at the flower. It doesn't have round petals like you'd usually see. It's got these jagged zigzag edges. So that is exploring abstract art, a little bit different than normal. O'Keeffe's ideas behind the paintings. So this is a quote from O'Keeffe. If I could paint the flower exactly as I see it, no one would see what I see, because I would paint it small, like the flower is small. So I said to myself, I'll paint what I see, what the flower is to me, but I'll paint it big, and they will be surprised into taking time to look at it. I will even make busy New Yorkers take time to see what I see of flowers. Modern life paintings. O'Keeffe began to look around during her time living in New York City and began painting the skyscrapers. So skyscrapers are very, very tall buildings, and this is a very different painting that O'Keeffe did. So she usually painted plants and flowers, but because she lived in New York City, she thought she was going to have a little look around and paint a skyscraper. So that's one example. New Mexico. In 1929, O'Keeffe visited New Mexico and was amazed at the landscape. The incredible rock formations, the unusual light, the bones of animals dried out by the sun, and the Navajo culture. So that's an example of one of Georgia O'Keeffe's paintings after she'd visited New Mexico. So it is an animal skull. You can see it's very dried out down here, and she's painted it on a nice blue background. It's another example, Black Cross, from Georgia O'Keeffe's trip to New Mexico. Later life. Georgia O'Keeffe began to lose her eyesight, and in 1972 she painted her last painting. She wrote a book, and in 1977, at 90 years old, she said, I can see what I want to paint. The thing that makes you want to create is still there. So what she's saying is just because she couldn't see, she could still imagine in her mind what she wanted to paint. The ideas and creations were still there in her mind. Legacy. Georgia O'Keeffe is recognised as being a pioneer of American art. She was highly praised for her art, which was unusual for a woman in a male-dominated art world. She died on 6th of March 1986, aged 98 years old. She painted thousands of paintings, and the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum opened in Santa Fe in 1997. Okay, so that is the end of the PowerPoint, and let's go back to our lesson to have a look at your task for today. So I've created a Georgia O'Keeffe topic web, and you've seen one of these before and you've used them before. Now this one, it's got slightly less sections than the others. It's got 4 different sections. So let's have a look at them all individually and talk about the tasks that you could try. Get artistic. Design a picture of a flower in the style of Georgia O'Keeffe's artwork. So think about the bright, bold colours. Think about drawing it at a close range, so quite close up. Think about it being abstract, not curved edges, could be zigzag edges. You could choose one of O'Keeffe's paintings and try to carefully copy it. Now, underneath this video, there are some links, and one of the links takes you to YouTube, and there is a step-by-step video on how to copy one of the paintings, or you could Google one of the paintings and copy it yourself. Number 3, design a portrait of Georgia O'Keeffe. So Google what she looks like and design a portrait. You could use pencils, paint, felt tip pens, pastels, whatever you would like. Get writing. You could design a storyboard or comic about the life of Georgia O'Keeffe. You could write a shape poem about a flower. So that's a poem about a flower, but it's in the shape of a flower as well. Number 3, now this one I'd like everyone to try. Make an information sheet about Georgia O'Keeffe. You could use PowerPoints, you can make a leaflet or a poster. So I would like everyone to try that one. Get thinking. Now, I've got 2 questions here to really get you thinking. The first one says, research another artist that paints flowers. How are they similar and how are they different to Georgia O'Keeffe? The second one, now this one's quite an interesting one. Do you like the style of Georgia O'Keeffe's artwork? Give reasons for your opinion. So you might really like it, you might not like it, or you might be in the middle. Give reasons for your opinions. So why do you think you like it? Or why do you think, I don't really like it? If you can tell me why, then you've answered that get thinking question. Get exploring online. Now, the first link takes you to a website full of information about Georgia O'Keeffe. So I'll just show you. So this is the first one. It's called Tate Kids. Who is Georgia O'Keeffe? And it gives you lots and lots of information, lots of her paintings, some questions there. So there's loads of information that you can have a look at there. And the second link takes you to the Duxters website, which we have used before in year 3 and 4. And this one, it gives you all the information about Georgia O'Keeffe, lots of pictures, some bullet points, and some activities as well to try. The last 2 links take you to YouTube, and they are both step-by-step videos on how to draw in the style of Georgia O'Keeffe. Remember to email any work or photos to your class teacher. Keep us updated with your home learning. You do not have to do all of the tasks, so please don't think you've got to do every single task on this topic web. If you want to, that's absolutely fine. If you only want to do 1 or 2, that's fine as well. It's about what you choose to do. And finally, the website links are underneath this video in the description box. Have fun, keep up the home learning and keep working hard. Thanks for watching, see you next time.